Hello students, this is Harveer, your English teacher. Students, today we are going to discuss part 2 of the chapter The Necklace from your book Footprints Without Feet. So what happened in part 1 is we saw that the diamond necklace that Matilda borrowed from her friend was missing and it was not on her neck. So Matilda cried out loudly. Now let's see what happened next. Mr. Loisel, already half undressed, asked, "What is the matter?" She turned towards him excitedly. I no longer have Madame Forestier's necklace. So, her husband, Mr. Loisel, also got frightened that his wife was screaming. He was half undressed, that means he was changing his clothes, maybe, and he asked her, "What is the matter? Why was she screaming?" Then Matilda turned towards him and said that Madame Forestier's necklace was missing and that it might have fallen somewhere. He arose in dismay. "What? How's that? It is not possible." And they looked in the folds of the dress, in the folds of the cloak, in the pockets, everywhere. They could not find it. He asked, "You're sure you still had it when we left the minister's house?" So Mr. Loisel became very sad when he got to know that the necklace of Madame Forestier was missing. They searched it in the folds of the dresses, the cloak, and in the pockets, but could not find it. Mr. Loisel then asked her if she remembered having it on while they were leaving the minister's house. "Yes, I felt it as we came out. But if you had lost it in the street, we should have heard it fall. It must be in the cab." "Yes, it is possible. Did you take the number?" "No." "And you? Did you notice what it was?" "No." They looked at each other, utterly cast down. Finally, Loisel dressed himself again. "I'm going," he said, "over the track where we went on foot to see if I can find it." What happened? Madame Loisel said that she remembered having it on as she had felt it while leaving the house of the minister. Then Mr. Loisel said that if it would have fallen on the street, then they would have heard the sound of it falling, but they did not hear anything, which mean that it must have fallen in the cab. To this, Matilda replied that it could be possible that what he said was right and asked him if he noted down the number of the cab. Both of them had not seen the number of the carriage. They were let down by what had just happened, and Mr. Loisel dressed up again to go and look on the tracks where they were walking. And he went. She remained in her evening gown, not having the force to go to bed. Towards 7 o'clock, her husband returned. He had found nothing. He went to the police and to the cab offices and put an advertisement in the newspapers offering a reward. She waited all day in a state of bewilderment means confused, before this frightful disaster. Loisel returned in the evening, his face pale. He had discovered nothing. So, and he said, "Write it to your friend that you have broken the clasp of the necklace and that you will have it repaired. That will give us time." She wrote as he dictated. At the end of a week, they had lost all hope, and Loisel, older by 5 years, declared, "We must replace this jewel." So now what happened? Madame Loisel, she remained at home wearing her evening gown, whereas her husband went out in search of the necklace. Mr. Loisel returned around 7 in the morning and announced that he had not found anything. He also went to the police and cab offices asking about it and gave an advertisement about it in the newspaper, offering a reward for whoever returned it. Madame Loisel waited for her husband the whole day, and when he returned, he announced that he had not been able to find the necklace. So Mr. Loisel told his wife to write to Madame Forestier that they had given the necklace for repair, as the hook of the clasp hook of the necklace had broken. So Matilda did whatever her husband told her to do. She wrote a letter to Madame Forestier about the necklace, that the hook of the necklace was broken. Then, so after looking for it for almost a week, they decided to buy another necklace for Madame Forestier, as they were not able to find the original one. In a shop of the Palace Royal, they found a chaplet of diamonds which seemed to them exactly like the one they had lost. It was valued at 40,000 francs. They could get it for 36,000. So then they started looking for a necklace similar to the one they had lost and found one in a shop at Palace Royal. The price of the necklace was 36,000 francs with a discount of 4,000 francs. Loisel possessed 18,000 francs, which his father had left him. He borrowed the rest. He made ruinous promises, took money from the users and the whole race of lenders. Then he went to get the new necklace, depositing on the merchant's counter 36,000 francs. When Madame Loisel took back the jewels to Madame Forestier, the latter said to her in a frigid tone, "You should have returned them to me sooner, for I might have needed them." So Mr. Loisel had about 18,000 francs, which were given to him by his father before his death. He borrowed the rest of the money from different money lenders. He then bought the new necklace from the shop by paying the full amount, that was 36,000 francs. When Madame Loisel took the necklace to her friend told her that she should have returned it earlier, as she too needed it. Madame Forestier did not open the jewel box, as Madame Loisel feared she would. What would she think if she should perceive the substitution? What should she say? Would she take her for a robber? So, what is the meaning of perceive? It means to aware of, to become aware of, and substitution, replacement. What happened? Her friend, Matilda's friend, Madame Forestier, did not even open and check the necklace, as Matilda had expected. Madame Loisel, that is Matilda, was worried about what would happen if her friend came to know about the replacement or substitution of the necklace. She could blame her to be a thief. Madame Loisel now knew the horrible life of necessity. She did her part, however, completely, heroically. It was necessary to pay this frightful debt. She would pay it. They sent away the maid. They changed their lodgings. They rented some rooms in an attic. So Matilda realized now that how horrible life could become. She knew that they would have to pay the loan that they had taken for the necklace at any cost. So they started to reduce their expenses and save more. They removed the maid from her job, changed their house, and rented rooms on the roof of a building. She learned the odious, that means tiring, work of a kitchen. She washed the dishes, she washed the soiled linen, dirty clothes, that means their clothes and disclothes, which she hung on the line to dry. She took down the refuse to the street each morning and brought up the water, stopping at each landing to catch her breath. And clothed like a woman of the people, she went to the grocers and butchers and fruiterers with her basket on her arm, shopping, haggling to the last sou of her miserable money. So haggling means bargaining. Now Matilda had to learn the tiring and the boring work of kitchen, like washing dishes, cooking food, and she would wash clothes and hang them on the line to dry. She used to go down to the street each morning to get water. With the little money that she had, she used to dress like ordinary people and go to the grocery shop, the butcher shop, and the fruit shop with a basket to buy the things of daily use. So is a small value coin in France, and so Matilda used to bargain even for a sou. The husband worked evenings, putting the books of some merchants in order, and nights he often did copying at 5 sous a page, and this life lasted for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, they had restored all. So what happened? The husband, that is Mr. Loisel, was also in a miserable condition, as he used to work extra time in the evenings and often did copying work at night for a small amount of 5 sous a page. They did this for 10 years and paid back their debt within this period. Madame Loisel seemed old now. She had become a strong, hard woman, the crude woman of the poor household, her hair badly dressed, her skirts awry, her hands red. She spoke in a loud tone and washed the floors with large pails of water. But sometimes, when her husband was at the office, she would seat herself before the window and think of that evening party of former times, of the ball where she was so beautiful and so flattered. So, after these 10 years, by this time, Madame Loisel had become a hard working woman of the poor household. She had started looking old with her hair badly kept, hands red, and she used to speak in loud voice. Many times, to feel good, when her husband used to go to work, she would sit next to the window and think about the party at the minister's house. She used to feel good about how beautiful and elegant she looked that day. She would imagine about how her life would be if she would not have lost the necklace. She used to think about how unpredictable life could be and how a small step could change a person's life. One Sunday, as she was taking a walk in the Champs Elysees to rid herself of the cares of the week, she suddenly perceived a woman walking with a child. It was Madame Forestier, still young, still pretty, still attractive. Madame Loisel was affected. Should she speak to her? Yes, certainly. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not? So, what happened? One day, Matilda was relieving herself of the stress of the week and enjoying a walk along the Champs Elysees when she suddenly saw a lady walking with a child. The young, pretty, and attractive lady was Madame Forestier. So, she was none other but Madame Forestier, a rich friend of Matilda. Madame Loisel, that is Matilda, started thinking about whether she should talk to her or not. Then she decided that as she had given her the necklace back and paid back all the debts, there was no reason for her not to talk to her. She approached her. Good morning, Gianni. Her friend did not recognize her and was astonished to be familiarly addressed by this common personage. She stammered, But, madam, I do not know. You must be mistaken. No, I'm Matilda Loisel. Her friend uttered a cry of astonishment. Oh, my poor Matilda, how you have changed! So, now Madame Loisel, that's Matilda, went to her rich friend and said, Good morning, Gianni. Madame Forestier was confused as she could not recognize the person but thought that she was familiar because only her close friends used to call her by that name. By which name? Gianni. That was her nickname. So Madame Forestier told her that she might have got the wrong person and that she might be looking for someone else. But Matilda introduced herself to her old friend, and Gianni Forestier was shocked to see her in such a poor and changed look. Yes, I have had some hard days since I saw you, and some miserable ones, and all because of you. Because of me? How's that? You recall the diamond necklace that you loaned me to wear to the minister's ball? Yes, very well. Well, I lost it. How's that, since you returned it to me? So Matilda then replied that she did have some hard days since they last met. She said that life had been miserable, and it was all because of Madame Forestier. Then Madame Forestier asked how was she responsible for her bad days, to which Matilda replied that she had lost Forestier's necklace. To this Madame Forestier replied that it was not possible because she had returned it to her. I returned another to you exactly like that, and it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. You can understand that it was not easy for us who have nothing, but it is finished and I am decently content. Madame Forestier stopped short. She said, You say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine? Yes, you did not perceive it then? They were just alike. And she smiled with proud and simple joy. So, when Madame Forestier told Matilda that she had returned the necklace to Madame Forestier, then Matilda said that she had bought a similar necklace and they had been paying the debt for the last 10 years. She also said that they were not that rich to afford such an expensive necklace. Matilda added that their debt was now over and that she was satisfied with whatever she had. Gianni was surprised and asked Matilda if she bought a diamond necklace just to replace her lost necklace, to which Matilda replied, yes. Madame Forestier was touched and took both her hands, and she replied, oh, my poor Matilda, mine were false. They were not worth over 500 francs. So, Madame Forestier was touched while holding in her arms. She said that the necklace which she had borrowed from Madame Forestier was a fake necklace and that it was not worth more than 500 francs. So, what do we understand from this? That the necklace that Matilda borrowed from Madame Forestier was not a diamond necklace. It was only a normal artificial necklace that cost not more than 500 francs. Matilda thought that it was a diamond necklace and they had to pay so much money to buy an original diamond necklace and replace it. But now she understood that what she had done was actually not needed. So, from this chapter, the necklace, we learned that being selfish, aspiring too much, and jumping into conclusion without thinking can lead you to danger. So, we must be satisfied with what we have and what we are, and we should not go beyond our means. I hope the chapter is clear to you now. Thank you.